Last time I was on pros with Sniper,
Yeah.
Sniper flamed you. Like,
Did he?
do you have any thoughts about Sniper last week?
Last week?
Yeah.
Oh, was against Shopify, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wait a second.
What do you think about that game, huh? A little bit of a top cap?
I don't want to talk about that.
Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Pros. Regular season is done. Playoffs is ahead. Got APA, Palafox, Quid. How you guys been doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Third place. Not too shabby.
Yeah, let's talk about it a little bit because you guys ended up having your series. You guys brought in Yuuji actually for this one. And game one, I don't know if you guys saw this game. Game one, legitimately, Contracts just could not play the game.
It's something we've done. Well, initially it started with Core doing it in solo queue, and everyone thought Core was just trolling, but then he thought it was really good, so he kept doing it. And then he convinced us to try it in scrims, and we did it in some night blocks. We're night blocking like nearly every night.
Who was the victim?
I think it was versus Dig, if I recall.
Yeah.
We did it versus Dig, and they didn't seem to have an answer, because he's picking an OP level 1 champion, just running around the jungle like you fucking up the enemy jungler.
Yeah.
And then it just looked good in our scrim, so we were like, okay, I guess we'll try it on stage. But it has a lot of conditions for at least him. Like, honestly, I do nothing. It's like when lane swaps were a thing for mid laner. You don't actually do anything as a mid laner. You just hit the wave. And so like, I just watched Core go in. I was like, oh, nice. That looks pretty cool. I'll keep hitting those mid waves.
Yeah.
Palafox. What you're the one pressing the F key button now. You're looking at your own jungler and how he's doing. How does it feel from your perspective?
I think the game is over. I mean, he can always come back in the game, right? But like he's on Talia, a scaling pick. We're playing Ahri Zinzao, so it's more like jungle needs to be strong so we can like take earlier fights. But when that type of stuff happens, it just pushes back It pretty much like gives Talia more time in the game to just play longer and longer and longer.
Yeah.
And just like be more and more useful. Yeah. It's really depressing. Honestly, like our vibe in the first game was like, it didn't happen. It's just cooked, you know? Yeah. Like, just happens.
I just realized we have the mid lane council. You guys have the council of mid lane. And also there's like there seems to be like a tie amongst all of you guys. Now, first of all, I just didn't even know how the relationship between Quid and APA started because you guys have a friendship. How did that even start?
I don't know. We just started. I don't know how I got his Discord. We started messaging each other, and like our conversations are never serious. It's just troll conversations that have zero value at all.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while we'll be like, "Yo, can I 1v1 you?" And I'll like 1v1 him on like a certain matchup, and we'll help each other out in that regard. But just troll.
Quid, what about you? Because somehow this man got your Discord. Do you have any memorable 1v1s that you guys both had?
Memory of 1v1?
Yeah.
Actually, we did 1v1 yesterday, and I thought it's gonna take 1 hour at least, but actually we did for only 50 minutes, and AP said, "Okay, I'm done." And
I just went full solo queue after.
We just played 3 games or 5 games. And
I got what I needed.
Who's the victor of that one? Who's winning this 1v1?
I think he won.
Yeah.
But I was figuring out the matchup, so
okay.
It's a win for me.
Can I ask what the matchup was?
No.
Okay, well, I asked enough. But then also, Palafox, I feel like at least when you came into the league, and I will talk about this a little bit, at least it felt like you were the intro to him because in playoffs, like people were talking about, oh, Palafox is APA's dad or something like that. Like it was like the constant 1v1, the Jace Tristana.
Yeah.
So like,
I remember, don't worry.
Like what would you guys say your guys' relationship like? Because at the time it felt like ego kind of, or just like, opposing teams.
I mean, what I thought of him is just like, he's just a new player. Mm-hmm. Give him a chance, like you showed potential on a bunch of stuff. So like,
True.
Play him as like kind of whatever. You also came in the middle of the split, so it's like kind of really hard. Yeah, just like, it is what it is.
Actually, you said that in the interview at the time, because I remember at the time, of course, you were getting hate. But in the interview, literally after that series, you're defending him at the time. Did you see yourself in him in that position? Because obviously the way you got put in the league was not in the best circumstances. That was Flyquest. That was like the Jose Dioto Flyquest game.
I mean, I guess a little bit, but like usually, I don't know. It's just like messed up for fans to just like hate on somebody after 1 week or 2 weeks. It's like, you know, you gotta cook for a little bit more time than that, you know.
Yeah.
So
the reason why I'm bringing it up too is because for Yuuji's first series to be entire teams playing around him, their contracts cannot play the game. Like that is probably the best setup I've seen for like a rookie coming in. At least when you came in, the team was playing around your zigs and all that, but you were in like a full kind of Korean-speaking roster.
I mean, I was still getting like coddled a little bit.
Yeah.
I remember Piosek would just like, he'd do Raptors, run through mid, do the Raptors, run back through mid, do Crab, run through mid. So I remember him doing that. And I told Contracts last night, I was like, I'm sorry, but we have to play for Jungwoo in this series. Because he messaged me talking about the Yuuji being subbed in.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're playing for Jungwoo. I don't think he knew we were playing this much for Jungwoo. But it's definitely, you know, like, it's nice to play around Yuuji. Like, he's a guy that can carry the games if he gets given gold. And I think our goal was just to set him up for that.
You have like a Maryville connection with him. How much? Because you didn't end up.
Somewhat.
Yeah, because you never played with him. But I feel like anytime Maryville's playing on stage or something, you're there, like to support the team. How much did you know or like have that relationship with him? Obviously, before coming on to this, him joining the team.
It wasn't too big of a relationship because we're like friends of friends.
Yeah.
Because he's really good friends with Spyrox, and I'm also really good friends with Spyrox. So we know each other through Spyrox, and we would like loosely talk every once in a while. But of course, like I knew he was on Maryville, my old college.
Yeah.
But we didn't have like the closest relationship, I would say.
Okay. Going back to the whole being a rookie coming into the league, Quid, because when you came in, it was also a really weird situation. Like, Bjergsen retired, you came in at the second half of the split, and I don't think it didn't feel as though they were necessarily playing around you and your conditions. Like that was just a weird team. What was your perspective looking back on that?
A lot of veterans in my team.
Yeah.
In that split, right? Someday closure, W.
True.
And in our scrim I was playing pretty good, pretty decent. So maybe my team thought I can play alone or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think I was really bad at like talking about what do I want to do in game. So maybe my teammates didn't realize I need help or something. So
I feel like you had stage nerves, Quid. I won't lie. The first split you played, because I didn't play that split, but I was watching you play, because I'd see the TL scrims.
Yeah.
And I'd see you like kind of run TL and scrims that split, but then you go on stage and you kind of looked like half of that.
Yeah, I had too much pressure by myself. Yeah, I really wanted to prove, so it gave me just some pressure. So yeah, I was nervous or choker in the split.
Yeah, and then you go into the next split and or to the next year, get an MVP. Like you look like a completely different person, and you talked about it a lot too.
Yeah.
Now I look at you because we talk about stage nerves. It felt like you didn't have stage nerves at the time when you joined, because you were just like emoting.
Little, but I was also kind of like, my debut match was Immortals.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
There's probably academy teams better than them at the time, so it wasn't too hard. I know Yuuji had stage nerves today. I forget what. I think it was game 1. We did Rift Herald, and then he didn't pick up the eye. And then we started joking about it in comms. We're like, Yuuji, you nervous, bro? Like, log in. Where's the Rift Herald? And then you ended up picking it up.
Palafox, how was it for you coming in? Because obviously the conditions for you weren't great. Did you feel any nerves for you?
I don't know if nervous is the right word. I mean, I don't usually get super nervous. I'm just kind of doing my job, you know? I mean, in game, you know?
Yeah.
I Honestly, I just think I was on a bad team. Just it just happens, you know?
True. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Team Cup.
Yeah, that team was interesting.
That was a rough one. All right, I just wanted to talk about it because, of course, like a whole rookie story, Yuuji story. Let's talk about 100 Thieves a little bit because you guys just came out of the DSG series very quick. You guys were waiting, maybe not too long.
Yeah.
You had an insane performance. How was the series for you? Because your Ari, I remember, was a little disgusting.
Yeah. Today, I feel like enemy just took wrong fight,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, we are calling fight for sure because we could fight. And in my opinion, they shouldn't fight like that, but somehow they wanted to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I got fed a lot in early, and it's really easy to play as an Ari if you're fed.
Yeah.
Quick, can I ask you about last week? Because
ready.
last time I was on pros with Sniper,
Yeah.
Sniper flamed you. Like,
Did he? With you.
yeah, me and Sniper, and Sniper flamed you.
Yeah.
And so just asking about last week. Do you have any thoughts about Sniper last week?
Last week?
Yeah.
Maybe it was Aurelia game?
Oh, was against Shopify, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wait a second.
What do you think about that game, huh? A little bit of a top cap?
I don't want to talk about that series. But I will say, Sniper said after we lost, he said he didn't realize, like if we lose that series, we're in lower bracket. He didn't realize that. So
Yeah.
Oh.
he just wanted to try earlier, but
So that's why you ran the series down.
Right.
Oh my God.
anyway, it could be better in
Quid, you're
future.
too nice. Sniper was flaming you.
You gotta be able to get him.
It could be.
Get your lick back on Sniper.
It could be future in. It could be good in future because we're never gonna pick Irelia again.
Oh, don't worry. We're not banning Aurelia. Don't worry.
Let's talk about that series a little bit because that's the reason why you're in the upper bracket, and of course, like that puts you guys in the lower bracket. I want to talk to you and ask you a question, Quid, just to like, what did you guys have to focus on this week? Because that series was a tough one from you guys, and I'm gonna get your perspective, Palafox, afterwards. But what did you guys feel like you needed to work on to get better?
We're just saying we need to focus on our tempo play because we always want to get more and more, and somehow we fucked up our round.
Yeah.
And even we won the fight, and we get tempo, and our coaches were really mad about that. So now we just try to take small win and press B instantly and go back to side lane or something, get tempo play. Yeah, we are focusing on that.
Who is the policeman? Who is the angriest of the coaches?
Both of them were mad, but I think Spook was really mad at us.
Yeah.
And recently, he started saying like, it's up to you guys that fix you guys' mistake, unless you guys gonna go home fast. So yeah. To be fair, yeah, if you guys watch our scrim or something like that as a coach,
Yeah.
then I wouldn't want to be 100 Thieves coach. So yeah, I think it's fair.
How about you guys, Palafox? Because you guys were obviously the one that won out in that series.
Yeah. Tried some spicy new pick in Xerath. That was interesting. Not much to say playing against a Nocturne, and I got weak-sided. So, you know, that's fun. But honestly, same thing as Quid. You know, like we kind of. It's almost like we were focusing on our tempo play to being like, you know, you just like appear on the map first. Usually you're in a better position. Usually you'll just win. Honestly, I don't even remember the first game of that series.
Yeah.
It was like close every single game, right? And then like, oh, that was the Ari game too, and against Smolder, and like Rakan got a flank on Smolder.
Yeah.
That's game 2, no?
Yeah, game two.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one I remembered. We were working on team fighting and like looking for flank coming from a different angle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that entire game, it's like we learned what our comp did in the middle of the game, and we're like, yo, we need to come from different angles. And I was like, I don't really think Ari first engage is that good.
Yeah.
So like, as long as we're coming at the same time from different angles, it'll go well. And then yeah, we just hunted FBI, and FBI is kind of like, sometimes he like kind of gets a little cocky, you know?
Yeah.
He dies to those often.
Yeah, he gets a little cocky. So
He's a forward clicker.
yeah.
How's it split for you, Palafox, in general? Because like Shopify is probably the biggest roller coaster. It feels like.
Yeah.
I know Quid was talking about how it was like probably tough to be a 100 Thieves coach. It's probably tough to be Shopify coach.
Honestly, like in scrims, we're pretty like we had like the actually like a roller coaster, like you said, right?
Yeah.
Doing really well, fucking down in the dumps like week 2 or something, and then we're slowly getting our way back up there, and like more recently, I think we've been pretty competitive with like every single team in scrims, and I think the hardest part is like draft. I just want mid counter pick, but it's really hard to not or like get mid counter pick.
Yeah.
Right? Bro, like it's so hard, no? Like mid counter pick is like half the time it's just fake.
Yeah.
And then like I don't know, we played fucking Galio Nico in game 2, which is like it's just weird to have in a game 2, you know? And Talia is just like the most OB champ, so you kind of just have to pick it. If nobody else wants to pick, you have to pick it.
Yeah.
I mean, you picked it, so it's like
And just first pick it. That champ's broken.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is true. So
Now kind of reflecting on the group. So of course there's no C9 or Flyquest representative, but seeing how that series went, first of all, were you guys just in the harder group? Because you guys like the Flyquest groups, or at least the easier group. The Flyquest just looked so dominating versus Cloud9. Like
I think it's at least to me, it's no surprise that Flyquest won. I think C9 is just like stock standard team. Like they do like anything that's like meta in the game, they'll do it, you know, dragon stacking, hit the grubs, hit the Atacon. But then like I don't think they're anything special. And I think Flyquest has some like kind of, I don't want to say special players, but like just they do things very uniquely to a lot of the other teams. And honestly, I just think Flyquest were better. So I didn't expect them to stomp that hard. I kind of think C9 ran it down a little bit, but so I don't think the gap is that big. But I wasn't surprised that Flyquest won.
it was the fastest series of the split, which was crazy. Did you end up watching it, Quid?
Like C9 versus Fly?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I wasn't surprised too. Because yeah, in Scream, Fly is just feel like unbeatable for us. But yeah, rest of team is beatable or can go even in Scream. But against Flyquest, our map is like has too much pressure. So yeah.
Also not a C9 fan, honestly, because I don't think Loki's that good.
Oh!
Whoa!
Just like that.
I'll say it. I'm
Just
sorry.
like that.
Someone had to say it. Like,
And also, Flyquest is really unpredictable. And C9 is, yeah, you can tell like what are they gonna play.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Fly is best team right now.
so I have to ask, Quid, what do you think about Loki?
Yeah, let's open this conversation up. All of us are like, we're all reporters right now, Quid.
Quid, thoughts on Loki?
I think he's pretty solid, but yeah, I would say he's not going for like super play or just carry the game. He just try to focus on team play, I would say. I'm not sure, but yeah. I'm not that really scared of Loki when I play against him.
Yeah, I mean, like, when I face some of the other mids, it's like, I think Quad's solid. I think Quid's good. Like, I'm not too high on Saint.
Yeah.
But, like, Saint's also up there. And then it's like, after that's kind of Loki, in my opinion.
Where's Palafox?
Yeah, where's
dude,
Pal?
what the
Yeah?
hell?
Oh, he's right next to you.
Your team sucks, I'm sorry.
Bro.
I'm sorry, man. I gotta be honest.
This is probably a great way to talk about just the Kia All Pros, because that's been a conversation now that the regular season's over.
Wait.
got
Can
the Council of
I butt
Mid-laners.
in a little bit here?
Please do.
You guys struggle against Flyquest and C9 and Scrim?
Yes.
That's not true for us.
Oh!
So what's going on here?
Whoa.
We're trash and scrims.
Oh, okay.
But you're saying you guys don't struggle. What's happening on scrims that's not happening on stage, or maybe you're starting to see them now?
Bro, we got cooked level 1. You saw last week. Like, we're competitive against like every team. Sure, we're kind of griefers.
Yeah.
Well, right. All right. Also, just saying, like, unfortunate what happened to jungle, but in 1-1 lane in Ari Talia, I was kind of cooking you really early, and I can't do anything because level 1 is fucked from jungle. So.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Right. True. The defendant has spoken. Thoughts?
I got it by charm.
She
had to base it on third wave, all right? Which is like pretty good for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you end up watching this? What's your thoughts? You must have been able to see this. You need to be...
Quid, actually, what's your all-pro?
Yeah, what
is your mid lane all-pro?
my all-pro?
Yeah.
Like first, second, third of mid.
I think first is quad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you on that list?
You better...
Are you on the list, actually?
I don't think I am.
All right, who?
I think second. Wait.
First is quad?
Actually, it's pretty hard.
There it is.
Yeah, first is quad for sure. Second.
See, just because they were talking about Loki like that, if you thought Loki is actually in the top 3, you can say Loki. Also, you're always hard on yourself.
I don't think Loki's top 3.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Quid, I'll say it.
I would say...
You're top 3.
Yeah. Maybe I'm second. But if I wasn't second, maybe AP is second. And Loki is third.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe? Do you guys think Saint is better than Loki?
I'm not a fan of either.
I think Saint's better.
I would say Saint's better, but honestly, I think Saint has his downfalls.
Fourth is Saint. And
hey, remember, all pros just 3.
Oh, yeah.
So that was interesting. What about your...
Quad, you, me? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your thoughts on that?
I'd flip me and Quid, honestly.
Okay. Palafox, I need to hear from you on this one.
I think it's... Honestly, Quad's team is just really good.
Yeah.
But could be interchangeable of you and Quad. So Quad Quid, 1-2.
Really?
But yeah, I think it's like his team is too good, bro. Like, and then third would either be...
It's pretty open.
Probably like Saint or you for me.
Yeah, it's really hard to choose.
Yeah.
This is interesting because at least when I talk to the casters or even just hearing from the community, because I go on Hotline League sometimes, everyone's high on Loki. Like Loki is probably like people are surprised how good he is. I'm surprised how good he is. And he looked pretty consistent. It feels like he looks good alongside Blabber. And maybe that's the thing about him coming into a team that's already pretty strong. Where do you guys like? I'll start with you, Palafox. Why do you think Loki is not on that top 3?
I just don't think he's like insane at anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like not like insane laner, not like they said, like doing anything like super special. He's kind of just like showing up, like doing his thing. And
yeah.
like, I don't know, when you're on a good team, that's like kind of what they need, but it's not like it's standout or anything.
Would you agree with that one, APA?
Yeah, I mean, he just doesn't have like that X factor. Like I think the guy who has that X factor is honestly Quid. Like I think in team fights, like sometimes randomly Quid, you're just gonna like 1v3 us in the back line and do something funny, and it looks really fucking cool. But then I compare you and Loki, and it's like he doesn't have that factor, or he's like solid at most things, and then there's nothing that pushes him like over the ledge where I'm like, wow, this guy's really good.
Okay, let's move along to some of the other positions because I'm really interested to hear. I'll do some of the things that I think are maybe a little bit more solidified and then move down to the more contested options. Let's start with support. So support, all pros, usually pretty hard to gauge what makes a support great. I'll probably start with what makes sense. Like Busio and Vulcan seem to be the best supports in the league. Like, do you guys align with that?
I would put Core up there.
Core? Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Yes.
I think those 3 are the 3 best in my opinion.
Palafox, you're thinking on this.
I would say just due to the standing, that's probably true. I couldn't put any certain order, but that's probably like those 3 in there.
Okay. I'm going to go straight to AD carry, and I'm going to start with... Actually, I'll start with you, Quid. Who's your... Well, we already did your mid lane all-pro. I'm going with you, Palafox. Who's your AD carry all-pros?
80 carry all pros. Is there really like are 80 carries like
kind of the same? It's like Sven, Jan, Masu.
Yeah, it's just like they're
where
just
you want to
winning,
put them.
you know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say like.
Is FBA on the list, Quid? Is he top 3?
Yeah, for me, yeah, he's in top 3.
Who's he replacing then?
Who are you replacing?
Who's he kicking out?
Jiben?
Whoa.
Whoa!
Sven's dog shit?
No, no.
You think Sven's dog shit?
That's what I'm hearing.
That's crazy. You said Sven's dog shit?
No, I think
You know how tall he is?
Jiben is more consistent player, but I think FBA has more high potential to play, like carry the game.
Yeah, so Sven's dog shit.
No, no.
So that's what you're looking for, is mostly like somebody that has like the upsides of being able to carry a game?
Yeah.
Okay. But at least it seems like we're generally aligned on 80 carries for the most part. So I'm going to go to jungle, which is like really interesting. So APA, jungle tier list for you.
I think Inspired Blabber are up there.
Mm-hmm.
And then, to be honest, I think those seem like the top 2.
Yeah.
From what I've seen from stage and scrims. And after that, it's like, there's contention. Like, I think River's name should be up there.
Yeah.
I think Umpty's name should be up there. Honestly, Contracts in some of his games has also looked quite solid. I think those 3 can like, I wouldn't be surprised if they got 13 all pro votes.
Yeah. Palafox, what do you think? Because I feel like I've been pretty high on Contracts.
Yeah.
He's looked good even in some of the losses at the beginning of the split. What changes would you make? Because like third team seems to be up there. Who do you think should be third team? You can
I do think Contracts. I am a bit biased.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's just third team because, like, I just think we've had a lot of games where we've lost where he's like played really well. I mean, and a lot of our losses, like, yeah, I think he's like played pretty well, and so 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
River's also in that conversation, Quid.
Yeah.
Who do you think gets third?
I think Inspired, Blabber. Oh, Inspired, River, Blabber.
Make the case for River. Why do you feel River should? Because you're saying he should be second.
Cause I like playing with him. Cause sometimes he int it, but he makes really fun play.
Yeah.
So it's really just fun to play with him. So I will just put him second, even he throw a lot.
I just noticed 2 times in a row you're putting like Cloud9 in third because you bumped Blabber to third earlier on, like Loki. What are your thoughts on Cloud9 players?
I think they're really good at playing as a team, but their player is just not that scary, except Thanatos, in my opinion. So, yeah.
Do you guys agree? Do you guys think he's underrating C9?
I mean, he's got a little bit of bias.
Yeah.
Because he's putting like his own guys in there.
No,
So I think you got to kick someone out.
Mm.
All right, wait. I have a question.
Hit me.
Right. So you know how you talked about like FBI having like X Factor over Sven, right? So why wouldn't you put Contracts in? Because I think Contracts has like higher highs than like any like Inspired, higher highs than Blabber as well. And like Inspired is just like super consistent, right? Yeah. But Blabber is like kind of really telegraphed, farming his camps. You know, like to be honest, both Inspired and Blabber are just gonna hit 8 camps in a row, no matter what. I don't know if you know, like as a mid laner, never have to worry gank, you know? But like I feel like at least versus like Contracts, hopefully you feel like he will at least gank you or like you have to ward properly, you know?
Yeah, I think Contract can replace Blabber, but I think C9 and Fly, they're just good as a team. So
yeah.
And SR doesn't look that. Yeah, doesn't look that. There doesn't look that. Oh.
You can just say it doesn't look that good.
You can say
on the same page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think for me, top lane's the hardest though for all pro.
Yeah.
But I think, what's it called? I think Thanatos throughout the split was the best top laner, but then of course he kind of got mogged by Pupo yesterday. But I think Pupo's had like some kind of rough weeks in my opinion. Like I think his week versus you guys, Fudge was smacking him around a little bit, even though they ended up winning.
Yeah.
So I think Pupo, in my opinion, I think it's like Thanatos, Pupo, and then third, I think a lot of names can be. Like I think Impact, when he's playing really well, should definitely be in like top 3, potentially even higher. But I think some games he's also just doing a little bit of funny gameplay.
Yeah.
So I'm not actually sure who to put third. Like I want to put Impact because he's my top laner.
Yeah.
But I think consistency-wise, that's where I'm questioning.
I think that's the big question. So like, especially, man, top lane has been pretty tough. Palafox, talk about like who you would put there, because you're right, like Impact can be up there. And you've been a staunch defender of the boys.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like I said, like Thanatos, honestly, is just like kind of standard Korean top laner in my opinion. Like good at like Gwen type matchups, which I think a lot of top laners aren't actually that good at. He's good at like just the meta picks, right? He doesn't have like many funny picks from what I know. I think he's just pretty standard player. But he's pretty good at being standard, right? And then that kind of makes him just inherently a good player. Because he can, part of the thing with draft, right, is like if you can early pick a top laner and you don't really need bans for it, and it's just blind picking, it's like, that's great for draft, you know? And then after that, it would be like, probably Bwipo because they're winning, but third is like, in the beginning of the split, I don't think Fudge is playing so well. But recently, Fudge has been playing like pretty well. Maybe not so much today, but more like first game, nobody has a chance to even play. So like, who knows if Fudge would have been good, you know? And second game, it was like just unlucky game, right? But for past 2 weeks, I think Fudge has been playing like really, really well. So.
But I think a lot of it's consistency.
Yeah,
At
but
least
the thing
for
is
team,
like
for all pro. Like that's why I don't rate myself really high, because I think I'm playing solid right now. But I think my first few weeks were kind of trash, I won't lie.
Does first few weeks matter? Like
It does.
For all pro, I mean like, I think they should.
I see.
But everyone's gonna have their own, because you even talked about it, Quid, like what you base your vote on, or even like what you think is more valuable. So everyone's gonna have a different idea of what is most valuable, or like what an all pro should be. For me, it's consistency as well, like being able to play at a good level throughout. But you make a good case for Fudge being as strong as he is most recently, and I think top lane is an open subject. But Quid, now I gotta ask you. You gotta be. What do you think about Sniper? Should he be on that list?
Is he top 3?
I don't think he deserves to be on third.
Where is he at? 4? 5?
4?
6?
7? You think he's the worst?
Oh!
That's crazy.
I think he's 4th or 5th.
So Fudge, Thanatos, who is there? Or no,
I think-
Thanatos, Pupo.
4th is Bwipo. 2nd is Thanatos. I think it's really hard to pick third.
like-
yeah.
So you gotta
Okay.
pick.
There is
So like, let's say like
There's
Impact is
Fudge,
3rd, then there's like
Impact.
Fudge 4th, there's Sniper 5th.
Fudge, Impact.
There's even Licorice as well if you want to list them.
30 as well.
Yeah.
No. Sorry, but no. I think
So Sniper's the 5th best.
Castle was winning almost every lane, no? Castle, but their team is just really too bad.
Castle does have a lot of really good early game stats.
But
So Sniper's 6th then.
That's crazy. That's
we're
crazy.
starting to see the reality here.
Was he winning lane versus Castle?
who?
Sniper.
Sniper today?
Who won top lane? I wasn't watching.
I think he was doing okay in Ribbon game, and I don't remember his Aatrox game. He should be winning lane. He was playing Aatrox
Okay, so
for
5th best.
Zion.
5th best.
I would say.
Sniper's so dog shit, Quid. Just
Oh my God, he's
I think
going
Impact is
crazy.
third.
Just say
I
it.
think Impact is third.
Impact is third? Okay.
Quid, you're
Okay.
too nice. Just say it. He dogged you last pros. This is your time to dog him.
Whatever. I don't listen to Stone. I don't care.
I think that pretty much caps up the Kia like all-pro conversation. But I do want to talk about the MVP a little bit. There hasn't been much MVP talk at all. I want to hear across the board what you guys would view as the MVP. I'll start with you, since you just went Quid.
MVP
Yeah.
in this split?
Yeah.
I can't really remember who was insane in this split.
Okay. Palafox, since you just decided to pass on this one, who do you have?
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably just inspired now.
Yeah.
It's just.
I think it's in my head between 3 players.
Yeah.
I think Inspired's up there. I think Bupo should be up there in my opinion. And I think Thanatos should also be up there.
Yeah.
Like between those 3, I haven't watched closely enough of their games to say who's like 1, 2, 3 in my opinion. But I think like those 3 names should have votes. I think other people have like honorable mentions. I think Jan, for example, should have an honorable mention. Who else?
I feel like Blabber had a really good split, actually. If you don't want to mention them, it's fair. I'm just throwing out names.
Just all right. I don't think MVP level.
Yeah.
I would consider like those 4 names to be like the 4 front runners. I think like everything else is like maybe 1 vote goes to Quid because he's on a shit team.
There it is.
Maybe 1 vote goes to, I don't know, Core.
Quid, you just, you just heard a lot of names now. And I'm going to come back to you because you need to.
Yeah, then I would say Bupo.
Bupo!
Yeah, I think he has really funny play style. And I actually think like if he has winning matchup in lane,
Yeah.
he's just fucking gold.
Yeah.
Whenever we play against him and when he starts winning lane, our map is just cooked.
Yeah.
It's like, so yeah, I would say Bupo is MVP in this week.
You guys talked a lot about Thanatos a bit. Let's talk about Bupo at least, because I know that a lot of people are going to be thinking of Inspired, but Bupo did have a really good split, and you're right. I think MVP contention's there. What's your thoughts on Bupo, Palafox?
My mind is, I don't know. Bupo is definitely like a really good player when he's on, but like for me, it's like there's like high highs, but the lows are like game losing almost. And that's like fine for some players, but it feels like if he plays against somebody of like equal skill, then in my opinion, like he's just okay. Like I guess that would mean that they're also like equally good, right?
Yeah.
But like Quid said, right? It's like when he's in a good lane, he's like taking over the game, right? But I just feel like I don't know. Sometimes it's just like it's too bad of a performance, you know?
You align with that, APA?
No, I agree. I think like consistency probably should matter a lot for MVP. And like at least the 1 week I recall is his week versus Shopify, where I think like the biggest gap out of everyone on Shopify and Flyquest was the top lane gap. It's like that would be the only reason I wouldn't consider him. But you can also cope a little bit and be like, Inspire's on the best team. Like he has 3 winning lanes every game and he full clears. So of course he looks good. Yeah, so I don't know.
All right. For anybody at home, these are all good notes. From now until May 28th, fans can cast their ballots for the Kia Most Valuable Player and Kia All-Pro teams using the QR code on your screen, and participating fans can enter for a chance to win a trip at the 2025 LTA Championships. Terms to apply. So that was my ad read there, but honestly, like you guys have a voice, and these are all, the council has spoken. So I do need one more thing from the council though, because a lot has happened from the like mage position. Like the patch notes hit, basically like it was like across the board, like mage buffs, other than like Roa last patch getting nerfed, and then Leandri's getting nerfed specifically. And I guess specifically it was tier or seraphs that got like changed, like from flat to more max
little bit of a
percentage.
nerf, yeah.
So what are your guys' thoughts on all of those changes? If there are any moving pieces in the meta because of that? I'll start with you, Palafox. Because that was I feel like it was a big patch change.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's Xin Zhao, Pantheon, and Nefiri in the meta. Play for jungle.
Yeah.
It's fearless, so when those champs are out, mid counter pick kind of matters a bit. There's some like he played Nico, right? I think you probably thought it like felt really strong. I think the champions like that might just like start popping up randomly, and it just depends on like player comfort, player strength, because just like random items are now just better than mage items. And I think more and more as like people get better and better, team fighting matters a lot more. So like while you would normally think like Azir outscales everything, well, Azir doesn't outscale getting one shot. So
yeah.
I think a lot of it feels like durability was lost because of with the Seraph's nerf, and then Leander's nerf, even though it didn't lose HP, it kind of feels bad to build Leander's right now, in my opinion. You're like spending 3,000 gold for 60 AP and like 300 HP. That kind of feels like trash. So I think like the old builds where Talia would go like Seraph's Leanders and have so much damage, be so tanky, and just like do everything is like definitely nerfed. Like Seraph's is nerfed a little bit, Leander's like a little bit. So I think durability's down, but then overall like AP's up. Like Malignance, Lichbane, Storm Sword's like slight change.
Yeah.
Like those items are slightly buffed, so you might see like Playmaker mids come back. You know, like I played Nico, like Quid was playing Ahri today.
Yeah.
Like Aurora's another those type of champions. I'm sure everyone's seen like the Annie picks. So like maybe it's just going into like that meta, and those champions also fit well with the current like top jungles you listed. Like if I'm since our Pantheon running around, it'd be lovely to have a little Ahri in my back pocket ready to shoot some charms around.
yeah.
Quid, what do you think about the changes? Like, also, if you have any tips for the solo queue players out there that are trying to like abuse the patch or anything, what would you pick?
I think AP Assassin champ is got buff a bit because Protopet got buff, and Richbane, is that buff?
Yeah, buff. I think. Like change, but I think buff.
So I think Akali or Echo in counter matchup, something like that.
Yeah.
It's really
Quid
strong.
I remember Quid Echo. That was broken.
Wasn't that bad?
It was broken in scrims. You looked broken.
What happened in those Echo games?
He was pumping some 1v9ers.
Yeah, I mean, I think Akali Sylas or Echo is gonna be really strong in solo queue.
Yeah.
Even in team game. So
What about you guys?
I like this change a lot.
Okay.
Because Loa Liandry meta was just too boring. You know, even when you're playing, like if you have two items like Loa Liandry, you don't feel like you're gonna die like randomly or one shot.
Yeah.
Now you do more damage and more scusi. So yeah, you gotta be careful.
Okay, I like that. At least it's good to be in the top of mind. What do you guys think about the same idea? Tips for solo queue for anybody to pick?
I mean, a lot of the easy champs are quite strong right now. Like I think Annie's pretty strong.
Yeah.
I think Ahri, easy champ, pretty strong. Like those are the two that come to mind that are pretty easy.
Is Ahri easy?
Like the
For
floor.
like noob level, yeah.
Oh, really?
If
Yeah,
you're
'cause you
like
can just run away. You never get ganked.
if you're like a
Oh.
gold noob, like you have a flash every on your ultimate, you
Makes
can never die.
Good wave clear too.
True.
So like I think those champs should probably be pretty strong in solo queue. You know, if you get ahead, you're just gonna one shot them ADC on repeat.
Okay. It's time to talk playoffs. Because now we're staring at it. Palafox, do you know who you're facing?
Flyquest.
Yeah, just making sure. Because they had to decide like 10 minutes after show basically who they wanted to face. So we can just like talk about the matchup a little bit. Because it's the rematch of, yes, you lost the series, but like Fudge definitely beat down Whippo in that series.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to when you face off against Flyquest?
For me, I think that their play is pretty telegraphed. I mean, like, a lot of people rate them really highly, which they should. They're very consistent. For me, it feels like Inspired is just full clearing on repeats. He's not really wasting time. He's just being super efficient. Busio is like doing the job of like stabilizing both side lanes and making sure that like Quad is able to farm and Whipple is able to farm, and then like Moss is just being an ADC, probably on midway just AFK. They're a good 2v2 bot lane. I think that'll be pretty interesting. But overall, like, I mean, I'm pretty happy with it because in our games, when the game is like kind of slow, it feels like pretty easy to play out. And if we know how to like play our comps or like team fight, then for me personally, like I feel like pretty confident going into. Also, like for me as well, like the matchup against Quad and like 1-1 in lane is like, it's like pretty chill vibes. You know, I think Quad is just like farming, I'm farming. His team is moving around the map. My team's moving around the map. It's like, it's not really anything happening.
Okay. And as a council, I'm going to ask you, APA, just like, if Shopify were to win, how would that happen?
I mean, it looked like from the previous series, like Fudge was the guy that was doing the most work in the series, I would say. So like, maybe it's because maybe it was like a fluke from Blippo, and maybe he just like ran it down that day. But I would imagine that's how the team loses the series, because Whipple has been known to, you know, maybe into game or two. Like he did that versus me a lot last year. Like every once in a while, he would just kind of run a game down in playoffs.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Fudge just like did some really hard in a game or two, and then, you know, maybe someone plays really good in a specific game, like Palafox has a great Xerath game, or B-Voy plays a good Varus game or something, and like that's how I would imagine. But like, I'll be honest, I still think Flyquest is massively favored.
That's fine. I mean, I think like narrative matters a lot and like momentum matters a lot. So like, all that matters is like what I think my team going into it.
True.
Yeah.
And so like, I guess you're going to be going up against Cloud9.
Yeah.
And based off of the last series, I don't know what kind of information you're getting. They got blown out pretty quickly. Any thoughts about going up again? Because also you don't think too much about Loki as well.
I think we're scaling, and now that Yuuji has his visa, we're also like actively using Yuuji a lot. So I think also it's going to be pretty hard to prep jungle versus us in playoffs, because you know, let's say we use Umpty for the first 2 games, we get him on some more utility champions, and then game 3, game 4, like suddenly you have to start caring about, you know, like the Viegos, the Kazakhs, the Wukongs that Yuuji can bring that necessarily Umpty won't bring.
Yeah.
And then I think just as a team, we're definitely slumping earlier in the split, but I think now we're all starting to perform quite well, even in scrims. So like, I personally think we're scaling. I think we're playing better and better as each week goes on. And like, C9 did 2 of us, but I'll be honest, game 2, we should have won.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't randomly grief my teleport into their base, like that game's ours, and who knows what can happen in game 3. So, like, I think narratives are going to say C9 are going to win, but I think at playoffs we always shine, and like, this roster always does well in playoffs.
Quid, what do you think about this matchup? I know you have the bias of him being your friend, but I need to know what this matchup looks like between Cloud9 and Team Liquid.
I think it's C9 favor, in my opinion, because I think Thanatos gonna win against Impact, in my opinion, and I'm not sure. I think C9 is just better team right now.
Yeah.
Cause how can I say?
You can just blame him.
No, I don't know how to.
Just be honest, Quid.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say.
No.
C9 player is just better in my opinion. So maybe they just don't need to play. Don't need to do like crazy play. So maybe Wait, I lost my way.
That's all good. Because like I do think that is going to be a pretty close series. But
Yeah, I think it's gonna be close series, but I think Impact gonna have tough time against Thanatos. And
yeah.
I think mid jungle gonna be just even farming or something like that, and I think tier bot laner Apotio is better than C9.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's gonna be a close game.
Okay. Now I gotta ask you, Palafox, which series do you think is gonna be closer between, like, the two, the Flyquest series and the C9 series?
Well, I'm favoring us in our series personally, right?
All right.
But I think it'll be close games, so probably ours.
Okay.
How does it work? Like who? Because you guys and who else is in lower bracket?
Dignitas.
So who would face who? Is it just off like seeding? Like
I don't know.
So Shopify, my understanding, is gonna face 100 Thieves if they were to go into the losers bracket.
Okay.
You can see it right here.
and then we would face Dig.
Yes. And then if C9 versus Team Liquid, the loser of that one goes versus Dignitas.
Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah, so that's
Rematch.
actually the rematch.
shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Even just thinking about that, okay, Quid, now I need to know. You have a second chance. Theoretically, like if it doesn't work out,
It is BO5, right?
Huh?
BO5?
BO5 the entire way.
Shit.
He's
be
kind
fun.
of happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun.
Okay, all right. And then I guess, actually I wanted to ask you this question because you mentioned the idea of Yuuji and Umpty coming in, like potentially like swapping. How does that, you've already had the scrims, and we've seen many 6-man rosters internationally that have worked out well. How is it from your perspective as the mid laner that has to work between two junglers? Like getting the communication, learning different lessons?
I mean, they're like kind of drastically different styles. Like, Umpty's definitely a more creative player. Like he'll go for a cheeky invade level 1 and do something funny. And then Yuuji's more of like a controlled player.
Yeah.
And then I think their champ pools are also just drastically different. Like Umpty's commonly known as like a more utility player. And then Yuuji's definitely like the carry guy. So I think that's why I said it's probably going to be a bit hard to prep versus us. Because who knows who we're going to actually put in for game 1 and 2 until like the night before. But then, like I said, if we put first 2 games Umpty's on utility champs that Yuuji's not really going to play. And then, games 3, 4, 5, if Yuuji's in, then like the pools are entirely different. So like, Yuuji's just playing game 1 of Fearless basically, rather than playing game 3.
Yeah, honestly, we had the same thought against you yesterday. It's there's like some comp picks where it's like if we pick like Orina Fury, right? If Yuuji's playing, he won't play Poppy.
Yeah.
But Umpty might actually play Poppy against us.
How is it like to prep against something like that in general? You just leave it to the coaches?
Just leave it to luck,
Yeah.
Yeah, leave it to luck and the coaches.
All right, more reason to be excited about the matchup. I mean, the first thing that's going to be coming up, of course, is Flyquest versus Shopify Rebellion, then C9 versus Team Liquid, and then, of course, you guys will just be waiting to see who comes. And, like, maybe it's going to be Shopify, maybe it's a surprise, maybe it's Flyquest instead.
Hey, I hope we surprise you guys. We've
done it before.
There's a lot to look forward to. All right, that's going to be it for us here, guys. Of course, if you guys are listening on any of the audio platforms, check into that, tune into that one. But until then, have a nice one.
Quid, you're so nervous.
Yeah.
Why are you so nervous?
You don't want to shit talk?
You should shit
It's
talk.
okay to shit talk, bro.
Shit talk sniper.
Yes.
Shit talk sniper?
Yeah.
No, I already fucking roasting him too much.